Tech Trends 24/7 Leaders is a passionate podcast hosted by James P. Quinn on technology innovation. It provides insightful interviews with key and inspiring innovators in areas of corporate technology, office of the future, AI, real estate, sustainability, assistive technologies, and other emerging technologies. Tech Trends 24/7 Leaders will smartly position you where your business, life, and industries are moving for the future.
On today's episode of Tech Trends 24/7 Leaders, we have Yao Morin, Chief Technology Officer at JLL. Yao leads JLL's global technology development strategy and delivery, and oversees the newly centralized engineering group with JLL Technologies. Yao holds a doctorate and master's degree in electrical engineering from the University of Minnesota, as well as a bachelor's degree in information engineering from Beijing University. She also holds several patents for her work related to user experience, data analytics and management, and machine learning. Yao's leadership and experience has strengthened the alignment between product and data strategy, which is critical as commercial real estate evolves into a data-driven enterprise. Yao has also been interviewed by CIO Magazine and was recently recognized by the Commercial Observer as Power PropTech for 2023. In this episode, Yao gives her insights on how technology is changing real estate and the impact that artificial intelligence will have for years to come. Welcome, Yao.
Yao, thank you for joining us today and being on the podcast. We're really excited to have you and have a great conversation.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. I'm excited to have this conversation as well.
It's our pleasure. So maybe we just start out, Yao, could you just give us an overview of your roles and responsibilities at JLL? I know you have a lot on your plate and your agenda. It'd be great to understand that.
Oh, absolutely. So I'm the Global Chief Technology Officer for JLL. So I am responsible for the technology strategy for JLL, both from an internal tooling and specialized software perspective, as well as our SaaS product. Probably a lot of you don't know JLL actually has a SaaS business as well, which is something that we have seen double-digit growth year over year. So that's another thing that I'm responsible for. So far, it has been very fun.
That's great. That's great. So I think that the next question really is kind of at the forefront of a lot of newspaper articles and top of mind for people. I mean, how do you really see AI transforming the real estate industry? Because I know you spend a good part of your day in that lane.
Absolutely. I think there are three main aspects if I have to summarize how AI is going to impact the commercial real estate space. One is looking at the long term, right? We know that technology innovation, or even from steam engine, like building bridges and all these different technology innovation throughout history has tremendous impact on commercial real estate. And AI is going to have that same type of effect on commercial real estate that is going to long-term transform this business. Near term, we are going to see that AI companies is going to have a lot of demand on different types of offices, research lab. And don't forget, like AI companies don't just exist by itself. It has a lot of infrastructure that are needed to support all these different AI companies, such as data center, energy, and utility. So you will see that demand is going to continue to grow, right? And NVIDIA, like the chips, you will see that the demand of those companies is going to increase. And then there are going to be a shift in geographic preferences too, because you might have heard that AI consumes a lot of energy in terms of training the model. So I think some of these demands are going to shift to more energy efficient countries and regions, or where the cost of those energy is cheaper in those regions. And the third thing that I see is that it's going to transform how commercial real estate does business as well, because I see that as AI and Gen AI become more and more commercially available and easy to use, and I see the prop tech is going to continue to change how we work as a commercial real estate industry. And then you will see that there are many different things that are more manual right now is going to become more tech enabled. So some example there will be valuations. How do you do comparable analysis, right? How do you do prospecting, property marketing, and there are just so many different things I can see that is going to be really changed and transformed by AI.
Oh, that's
It's a really long-winded answer, but I really do think that the change is going to be from many different directions.
well, I think that kind of leads into kind of the next question is that why data is so important. So in terms of data intelligence, why do you think it's critical for corporations for the future? Because it seems like there's some corporations are embracing it, where others are a little resistant and they're hesitant.
Yeah, well, data is really the foundation of all of this, right? I remember seeing a LinkedIn post on CEOs from different companies just say, I want AI. And then they're really passionate about it. But then you have this little engineer tell them that, hey, you don't have data for it, right? So data is really the foundational piece that you need to have to really truly leverage AI. Because if you don't have the right data, if you don't have the correct representation of your business, your customers, the geographic information about your properties, AI is not going to help you, right? And the reason why JLL can actually be so fast and so adaptive in this AI transformation is because we have really spent a lot of effort and time to build out that data asset for JLL. So we have built a great modern enterprise data platform using really modern technology that is very scalable. And then we have also spent a lot of time to curate the data that really matters to us. So when AI and Gen AI technology become more mature, we can really leverage that rapidly and be very adaptive with it.
Makes a lot of sense. And I think one of the other projects that I'm really interested to kind of get your take on is that the JLL GPT initiative. It sounds very exciting. Can you just tell us a little about it?
Yeah, absolutely. JLL GPT is our first and in industry purpose-built large language model, and it has two components to it. It obviously has a chat application part where it infused a lot of the different JLL knowledge in it, where everyone in JLL get access to it, and it's used and loved by everyone right now. I was looking at the numbers. The NPS, Net Promoter Score, is amazing. The usage, the stickiness of the software, the application is amazing. Also, as part of it, we also built a generative AI platform that will enable more developers, software developers, and other business lines can actually develop their own generative AI applications that can be used and that can be more scaled. And so I've been very excited about it. The interesting thing is, James, is the use cases people have been using JLGPT for. The most fun one is using JLGPT to suggest cocktail recipe for an event that we throw for our clients.
That's great. That's great. There's a social aspect of it too. That's fantastic.
Absolutely. Have you used JLGPT, James?
I haven't, but it is on the list.
Okay.
I've been using ChatGPT, and I think it's really a game changer, but that is next on the list. So I'm sure I'll have to come up with some recipes or something, but also I'm sure it's going to help me in our practice as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I see a lot of brokers, a lot of, other producers have been using in their day-to-day work of analyzing LOIs, doing com analysis, and writing prospecting emails, lots of usage.
Yeah, no, it's very exciting. And then sticking in the AI theme, how do you see AI? Because obviously sustainability is such an important part of corporations and a lot of people's mandate. How do you see AI factoring into sustainability projects?
I think it's a very key point. In fact, we have already used AI in certain ways in some of our sustainability offering. One of the things that have already been deployed to some of the building is we have this AI offerings where you can leverage data science predictive models to actually automatically adjust your HVAC system so that it can actually like make sure that the temperature is right for the people in the building, but also have that sustainability in mindset to take into consideration. Another thing we are doing is, as you can imagine, every country, every region, every city, such as New York City, where you are, have their own rules and regulations on what it means to be compliant with sustainability rules. And it's a huge burden for any global enterprise company to have to understand all these different nuances and complexity of the rules and regulations. So we are looking into leveraging Gen AI to really help us to summarize and extract the right information from all these different rules and regulations and input that into our sustainability applications, where it is to help our occupiers or investors to invest capex into making their buildings space more sustainable. And then marrying those two is going to really amplify the impacts of our sustainability services that we can provide for our clients.
Oh, that sounds very exciting. And I'm sure each year it's going to get better and better, which is terrific.
Yeah, absolutely. We are learning more and more. We are exploring all these different kinds of use cases we can potentially use AI for. And it has been a very exciting journey.
That's great. Well, yeah, you're working on a lot of exciting projects. What are
Yeah.
you the most enthusiastic about for the future on some of the projects you're working on?
I think JLGPT is, although we have already launched, but there's so much to do with JLGPT. And then I get a lot of energy, James, from seeing people using our app software to really make their life easier. We get a lot of feedback on how it really literally changed their workflow. And then they also continue to give us more feedbacks. It's just really encouraging for us to really truly save our people's time and then use that time to provide our clients more better value added services. And that's like I continue to see there are a lot of things we can do. And that's one thing. And then I also very excited about some of the new ideas that I recently see from our JL hackathon. This is 1 week event where like everyone can just drop everything they do to try out some innovative idea. We see some really cool soft ideas that came out from this hackathon. So I'm excited to see those innovative ideas become reality. And so that's something that I'm very excited about.
Well, we'll have to have a follow-up on some of the great things that came out of the hackathon for sure.
Yeah, there are a few that is in leasing. So it's like very exciting.
Excellent.
I think in general, I think that I just see JLL being a very innovative, very willing to try new things out kind of company, and then really having the client first mindset to really see how we can leverage technology to make our clients, to provide better services for our clients. And that is very exciting. And that's what I wake up every day and feeling like we need to go solve problems.
That's terrific.
Yeah.
And I've always been a big fan of technology innovation, and I spend a good part of the day really trying to understand it and try to be ahead of the curve.
Mm-hmm.
What is your advice for anybody in the industry to how do they incorporate AI and technology to enhance kind of their skill set for the future?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question, James. And it's actually a pretty complicated one. But if there's one thing, I think I found it really practical. Obviously, I can go say, hey, you just go read all these different technical papers, stay current, but it's very difficult. I think what I think will be really more practical and easy to do on a day-to-day basis, especially in the era of Gen AI, which I think is going to transform the world. Just think about, hey, when you're doing your work, are there work that you will be like, if it will be great if I have someone there to bounce off ideas, or someone there to proofread my email, someone there to talk things through, and then I can do a presentation and get some feedback. And that's where I'm trying to get to, is like this co-pilot idea, where if you see that, and then if you have seen situation where you feel like there could be someone there, that you are the pilot, there's another person which is a co-pilot that can help you, then that's like probably a potential application for generative AI. Then you can start going from there. You can start focusing on that particular area to see whether there is something out there that can already help you to do that work. And I find that a really easy starting point to start getting into an area.
No, that's great. I think that because it requires commitment, right? So I think that if you really want to have this as part of your skill set, you have to be dedicated to it. And I think that the more you can become a sponge in this area, I think the better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, how do you stay current, since you are obviously very, very passionate about technology and real estate? How do you usually get your information, and how do you decide to spend your time?
Yeah, that's a very good question. A lot of it is I'm an avid reader. So anything that's technology based, if it's in the Wall Street Journal or certain technology publications I am a part of. I also have been listening to a lot of technology podcasts. Like I know you mentioned NVIDIA. NVIDIA has their own AI podcast that comes out once a week that is really interesting. So it's really kind of listening to podcasts, being an avid reader, and really talking to people like you, because again, I'm all about how do you position yourself for the future. And I think these are key areas that it'd be wise to really kind of focus on these areas.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you have to have the passion for it, right? So I think that's also something that is important.
Absolutely. Well, this was a great conversation. We know how busy you are. I think that we covered a lot of ground. Thank you for being part of the podcast, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me here. I had fun talking to you about this.
It's our pleasure. Thank you.
Bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Tech Trends 24/7 Leaders. To learn more about technology trends, you can follow me on LinkedIn. You can also read my book, Tech Trends 24/7 and the Impact of COVID-19, which is rated a must-read book by CIO Insight. The book is available for purchase on Amazon or on our website, Tech Trends 24/7. When conducting research for the book, I was inspired to see how technology innovation was making a positive difference in people's lives. As a result, in 2020, I founded Beacon of Hope 365. Our mission is to leverage technology to help people in need. More information on the charity can be found on beaconofhope365.org. Thanks again for tuning into the episode, and a big thank you to my entire podcast team, Lindsay Sowert, Brianne Lunghammer, and Sal Forcina. See you on the next episode.